Human evolution at first seems extraordinary. How could the process that gave rise to slugs and oak trees and fish produce a creature that can fly to the moon and invent the internet and cross the ocean in boats? Many scientists, anthropologists, and researchers have grappled with this enigma, but one talented paleoanthropologist was able to provide crucial insight. Mary Leakey's education, as well as her research, propelled the exploration of the history of the human race. She encountered both hidden pasts and unprecedented challenges, and facilitated the exchange of newfound information within the archaeological community.
Mary Leakey, daughter of Erskine Nicole and Cecilia Freary, was an art history and archaeology buff. As a child, she frequently visited historic museums and participated in junior archaeology events like archaeological digs sponsored by the Museum of Prehistory in France. Even though Mary Leakey was confronted with the tragic loss of her father's death in 1926, she tenaciously pursued her interests, auditing numerous courses in archaeology and geology from local universities. After her education, Leakey met her future spouse, Louis Leakey, in 1933.
I was a graduate student at UCLA,
Oh,
and my first wife phoned me up. Well, no, I was actually by then I was teaching junior college, and she called me up. She had gone over to UCLA to listen to one of Lewis's lectures, his famous lectures, and I managed to find him in a professor's office. I said, I understand you would like somebody to go to Kenya and work on your landing process. I got to meet Lewis and Mary.
Mary Leakey's first milestone into uncovering the mysteries of our past originated in her expedition to Rasinga Island, a landmass just off the coast of Lake Victoria. Mary Leakey uncovered interesting bone fragments and a tooth buried inside the side of a cliff. She was able to find enough pieces to reconstruct something truly remarkable.
I should add that the human ancestral remains, they're very rarely complete, beautiful skulls that you see in the pictures. They're usually made up of hundreds of fragments of bone, and so you need to assemble those.
Mary Leakey pieced together and discovered an almost complete find of the proconsul africanus, an ape that lived in the Miocene era. This momentous discovery not only advanced our historic knowledge, but also provided key information into accurately describing the evolution of humans.
Proconsul was significant because it was an ape that was discovered, and not a lot of information is known about apes, the fossil record entirely. So Proconsul, as it exists, as she discovered it, was actually pretty significant. It's a really, really old find, so her ability to uncover it and understand it was fairly significant.
Through the search and exploration of historic fossils, Mary Leakey was able to provide the dental anatomy and the brain size of these ancient apes. The diagnosis of the teeth revealed that the molars resembled those of a human, and the enamel in these apes served the same function as they do in modern humans, to protect the teeth from decay. Furthermore, the brain size and structure of Proconsul africanus was highly similar to that of gibbons, an evolutionary sister to the humans. Because the brains of Proconsul africanus were made up of biological structures, there is an unmistakable relation between these primitive apes and modern humans. Through the extensive exploration of the Proconsul africanus, Leakey was able to pioneer a discovery that interconnected the species of evolutionary studies.
Leakey's research consisted of many novel encounters, both pleasant and perplexing. For example, her second discovery was both fortuitous and pleasant. On July 15, 1959, Mary Leakey was walking her dogs when she came across an almost fully intact skull of a Zyganthropus, later known as Australopithecine boise. Even though this fossil is not a direct ancestor of the modern human, Such an encounter was crucial in identifying human evolutionary development.
And the discovery that my mother made in 1959 of a skull of something called Zinjanthropus, which they named Zinjanthropus, was important not only because it was the first East African find, but it's extremely important because it could be dated. The first time we had a real date for a human ancestor. And it was dated to 1 3/4 million years. It was dated not of the bone, but dating of the sediments it was in. And that was a shock to the system to realize that there was at least 3 times more amount of years between us and our fossil ancestors than we had thought.
This 1.75 million year old specimen was the first of his species and at the time of his discovery, the oldest hominid to be found. This species also possessed a zygomatic arch, thick enamel, and pronounced molars, all characteristics that relate it to modern humans. 2 major discoveries marked turning points in my life: the finding of Proconsul in 1948 and the finding of Zinji in 1959.
Another pleasant and rewarding encounter was the Laetoli footprints. In 1979, Mary Leakey and her team discovered a trail of footprints of early hominids. These footprints provided essential information about foot size as well as the gait of human ancestors. In 1976, 2 short, parallel tracks of what seemed to be fossilized animal prints were found by a man named Andrew Hill by accident.
Well, we first found animal prints. That was in 77, I think, quite by accident.
After further exploration, Mary was certain these tracks were left by a hominid and was able to uncover more than 75 feet of hominid tracks.
The track of footprints that you see here on my left was a truly remarkable find that we made this season. It's a trail left by 3 people who walked across a flat expanse of volcanic ash 3.5 million years ago. One assumes that they were perhaps holding hands, or they're so evenly spaced, the tracks, and they're keeping step, always left foot for left foot and right foot for right foot, that it may, for all we know, have been a family party.
Leakey's enlightening encounters resulted in the understanding of all aspects of human evolution. However, Mary Leakey was not able to attain the fame she wields today without countless struggles. Mary Leakey's struggles include the constant interruption due to political and social turmoil in Kenya. Delving into a more social perspective, Mary Leakey was faced with personal challenges as well. Mary Leakey was the female beacon within a male-dominated society. Her archaeological excavations as well as her research was controlled by her male peers. She even had to publish her work under the name of her husband. However, Mary Leakey was determined to not let social pressures affect her work. Even though she continued to publish under Louis Leakey, Mary Leakey served as a symbol to women of other fields who faced similar challenges, and, as seen by her later achievements, Mary Leakey was able to eventually surpass such obstacles and share her encounters with the rest of the world.
Mary Leakey was working during a time period when women weren't really involved in archaeology. It was pretty amazing that she was able to do what she did at that time, even though women weren't necessarily given credit for discoveries they made, including Mary. She's still a very strong figure for women and men to look up to in this area.
Mary Leakey's efforts and exploits symbolize her persistence and passion. Her research entails her remarkable discoveries and provides other archaeologists and anthropologists information to exchange and advance on. Furthermore, Mary Leakey encountered both work-related challenges and gender bias, but her contributions are acclaimed internationally and defied the expectations for women at the time. She continued her research even when her efforts were hampered by bleak results, war, and social opinions. Overall, Mary Leakey's story can be described in terms of her relentless exploration and her tireless motivation to continue against all odds that she encountered. Her research disseminated throughout the scientific community is sparkling an exchange of ideas that enable the advancement of paleoanthropology.
I'll take it in, but don't look down. 'Cause I'm on top of the world, hey! I'm on top